Hey guys, we're here with Death Must Die. Got a discussion video for you today about the end game here in Death Must Die. Now, I really like this game first and foremost. I think it is an awesome roguelike, survivors-like type experience, and it's still in early access. So obviously, they're working on any upgrades, any faults, and I'm sure there'll be more updates before 1.0 even lands. That's fine, but today I wanted to talk about the end game as the way this game does the end game difficulty is kind of interesting. You have a difficulty system that enables you to manually choose between a whole stack of different modifiers, difficulty modifiers to customize the experience to the way you'd like it to be. Um, it has a system where the max difficulty for you to earn higher level items is Darkness 30. So you don't actually have to go all the way up to Darkness 100. Darkness 30 is sort of the max difficulty that you need to if you want to farm items effectively. So at Darkness 30, almost any build will really work as long as you have some decent stats going in, or you know what to do with your blessing combinations to sort of get a build going. Really, a lot of builds can work at Darkness 30. Darkness 30 is not that hard, depending on, your current gear setup. Obviously, you might need to farm some items before you can reliably get clears at Darkness 30, but like the build you're seeing here in this video, I'm trying to make Dash Merris work at Darkness 100, and it's just really, it's really struggling. So we put it down to Darkness 80 for this attempt in the background here, and we're just not getting, just not really getting what we need to drop in terms of the blessings. But I don't have a lot of alterations and stuff on this particular build. But the idea was to try and get Dash Merris to work at Darkness 100, and we're just really struggling for the damage output. The lightning ball circle thing you see around her, Joss, it has such a small area, and it just doesn't do enough damage. And you only get to have one dash skill equipped at a time, and they're just not that strong compared to, you know, cast build, especially on Merris. A cast build on Merris is just so powerful. Compared to that, these dash skills feel real dinky. Now, you can do something interesting in the skill tree and sort of mix and match between dash and cast, and you can get a pretty interesting build going like that, but really trying to lean into dash damage and dash projectile count and stuff like that just doesn't feel rewarding at the high difficulty levels, at the high darkness levels. Because, like I said, compared to the cast build just feels so powerful. You're just like steamrolling everything. Check out the Darkness 100 video we did on the channel with racist Merris if you're interested in that. But even the summon build at Darkness 30, it's really fun. But at Darkness 100, man, the summons don't have enough move speed to keep up with the enemy movement. Any tankier enemies that move around pretty fast, they just can't keep up, so they can't out damage them, and then the enemies end up damaging you. It's it's kind of it's this awkward dance of, oh no, my summons aren't fast enough. Oh no, what do I do? Oh no, I'm dead. It is what it is, but I think they are balanced more around Darkness 30. It feels like that. It doesn't feel like Darkness 100 is really very well balanced. There are some builds that are just insanely tanky and, able to clear the screen really easily. And some builds just have, just a crazy amount of health on some characters. On Merris here, you're able to get some pretty high passive health regen with this racist staff here. It doubles all your healing, basically. It's really powerful, but... but the summons, even the dragons and the skeletons and stuff, they're just not fast enough. They just can't keep up. But yeah, I think the game is more balanced around Darkness 30, though. That's how it feels to me, anyway. If you guys disagree, if you think I'm crazy, I know there are a lot of builds that can work at the high difficulty levels. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that no builds work. there are plenty of builds that can topple the higher difficulty levels, right? But what I'm saying is there are some builds that are just like pathetically weak compared to compared to some of these others that can. And that's sort of what I'm talking about, the huge disparity in balance between some of the builds. I think it would be more interesting if, dash builds, for example, at least on Merris here. Well, I'll use Merris for an example. If on Merris here, I could go in and really work a dash build to, in Act 1, I felt like it could. I felt like you could really get a dash build going with some of the skills. In Act 2 here, they just don't do enough. They don't do enough. Not for Darkness 100. And certainly not on Merris, maybe some of the other characters, Some of the other characters like Lorien, who's just got like some crazy, crazy powerful stuff in his kit. But, he's got other issues at Darkness 100. Some of his builds are stronger than others too. And the other thing is I wanted to talk about is RNG in the endgame is pretty heavy. Like it can take you, hours and hours and hours of grinding to get some of these items that feel almost necessary. I guess you can work without, stuff like the Black Lamp and Waste and stuff like that. But it's just so powerful to be able to get the extra Master Offers. Is just such a powerful thing in this game, that it kind of feels necessary on some of these builds, especially the builds that rely on you getting in a piece for some health regeneration. But not only that, just getting pieces of equipment that have good stat combinations for, surviving at Darkness 100 can be pretty tough. A character like Merris, for example, just doesn't have much base HP. Doesn't get a lot in her skill tree for survivability. It's mostly all damage output and, status type stuff as well, but mostly damage output in her trees. But yeah, so like, I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with this one, to be honest with you. It's just a discussion video about the end game. I've just found it pretty frustrating to try and get some builds going in Darkness 100, and they just feels like pathetically weak. And some other builds like that cast build just feels like easy mode. It's like it shouldn't. Should there be such a huge disparity like this? I understand that like leaning into to a build can be satisfying, right? You don't want to take that away. But I felt like I really leaned into the build pretty hard here with with Dash Merris, and it's just not working. I'll show you another one. This one we had Crom, his Master Blade show up. Where is it? I mean, we got to as close as as good luck as we could get with this build in this particular run, and it still just wasn't strong enough. We even got Landslide and Light Rays for our casts, which are two of the strongest damage output ones that can just spam the field. Unfortunately, it just doesn't feel strong. I've lent really hard into the dash, and the other thing with Crom's one here specifically is it has knockback on it too, which you might think sounds really good, and in certain situations it's nice, but it can actually be hard to to keep your dashes on target when they're getting pushed around everywhere, as you can see. Kind of making things more difficult than it really needs to be. And then like 4 of them appear on me at once. But I'm interested to know what you guys think about the end game of Death Must Die. I think at Darkness 30, there's a lot of builds that work, and it's pretty fun overall. And getting up to the point where you can hit Darkness 30 in Act 2 there's a bit of a curve there where you kind of hit a bit of a wall. when you first start out, because it's like, oh wow, this is this is pretty tough. But when you start getting some mythic tier 2 gear, things start feeling a bit like, oh, I actually have some base stats now, like, and things start feeling a bit easier. But I think more so than that is just understanding the skill trees. If you understand the skill tree and you get a build going in there, most of them will work pretty well at Darkness 30. If you consider the game to be balanced around that, I think it's pretty well balanced overall. Like, there are a lot of builds that can definitely run through Darkness 30. And definitely the dash build will get you there on Darkness 30. Merris attack build is also one that I've been trying to make work at the higher difficulty levels. And her attack is just not as strong as some of the others, you know. I like having a ranged attack, but compared to Lorien, her attack builds just feel pretty weak. Lorien attack is pretty strong. And Lorien, I've got I got the bow that gives him an additional 20% master offers. It's so strong. You get pretty much everything in a run you'll be able to have master blessings. It's pretty crazy in that kind of build. I'm not as experienced with Lorien though. I've done some runs with him, and he's been a lot of fun to use, and he was fun to level up and upgrade his skill tree and all that. But I haven't figured out every build with him that works yet. But that particular weapon, man, an additional 20% master offers in a weapon is pretty insane. I don't know of any other weapon that has an additional 20% on it. So you're able to get, I've got 43% master offers on him. It's pretty insane. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to talk about Dash Merris here and the end game of Death Must Die. It's still a really fun game. Still enjoying playing it. I don't know. Let me know how you guys feel about the end game Darkness 100. Do you guys enjoy throwing builds up against Darkness 100? Is that something you enjoy doing? Are you frustrated that some of these builds really suck at Darkness 100, or do you think that's just fine as long as the builds are okay at Darkness 30? I'd be interested to hear from you guys, so let me know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, consider hitting like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day.